A lot of people right now in the year of 2020 are experiencing sleep paralysis, night terrors, and negative entities in their dream state, believe it or not. But there's a very important and positive reason for that. Hey, what's going on, my friends? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor, and I help people navigate through their spiritual awakening process. And in this video, I'm going to share with you how to deal with negative entities in your dreams, sleep paralysis, night terrors, etc. It's all kind of the same thing. I went through it big time years ago, and I'm going to tell you what to do because it's something you can fix. You can deal with this effectively right now. I'm going to share with you what worked for me and worked for many of my clients over the years. In addition, I'm going to tell you why you're experiencing it right now. There's a very important and, again, very profound and positive reason why you and so many others are going through this right now. So I don't know about you, but I've been having these experiences off and on since childhood. I remember this one time in high school. I was a senior in high school, right? And I had woken up, or I thought I had woken up in my room as I normally would to get ready for school. But when I woke up, I could not move. I could like sense around, if that makes sense, that I was in my room. I knew I was in my bed, and everything seemed familiar. All signs pointed to the fact that you're awake, bro. Why can't you get up? Now, this is gonna probably ring familiar with a lot of you. Not only could I not get up for some reason, once that set in, that was a bit unnerving, but beyond that, I could literally sense with like precise clarity, I could sense a presence, a being perched on my back. And then I freaked out. Of course, I tried to scream. I couldn't scream. And I had the whole sleep paralysis, night terror, panicky thing. And eventually I like muscled myself awake like a lot of us do after a while. We fight it. And I literally, at 17 years old, I jumped out of my bed, and where'd I go? I ran straight into mommy and daddy's room. I woke my mom up and said, "Mom, you're never gonna guess what happened to me." And oh my God, I freaked her out a little bit. And I went to school, I told my friends. Of course, they thought it was weird. They thought I was on drugs or something. At that time, I was taking a lot of drugs. But that was like one of my first memories of having that happen to me. After that point, I could look back in retrospect and see, you know what, this kind of thing has happened before. But I didn't think much of it. I went through the rest of my high school days, no problem. But then I had a spiritual awakening when I was about 23 or 24 years old. I had a very powerful kundalini awakening. And there was a little phase there where I started having these night terrors and sleep paralysis and literally having to deal with negative entities straight up in my dreams every single time I fell asleep for a period there. It was at a point where every single time I fell asleep, I would wake up in what seemed like a demonic realm. That's the way I labeled it at the time. It was a scary, negative, like evil toned type of realm. And yes, as I found myself there, it was just a matter of time before they would make their appearance known to me. And they would do it in all sorts of creepy, twisted, and frightening ways. This one time I remember I woke up and it was like I found myself in this tunnel. And there was, again, that distinct feeling that you're in some other place. You're not just dreaming, you're aware. It's like you're awake, but you're in some scary ass place. That I could feel this hot, this hot breath on my neck of like this dragon-like being like, like on my neck. I freaking ran down that tunnel so fast. But anyway, it got to a point where I was terrified to fall asleep. I remember going to see a psychic. He told me to do some sage. Like really not a lot of things worked for me. And I found myself in this predicament where I was terrified to fall asleep. I literally was trying to keep myself up the whole time because every single time I fell asleep, it was a nightmare. Literally, no pun intended. But so eventually I got sick of it. I was like, you know what, this is ridiculous. I'm sick of it. It was like 4 or 5, maybe a week or so of this. And then also when I was going through this, you may notice this as well if you're having this a lot. I noticed it almost felt like my house was haunted. It wasn't only in the dream state. It felt like that negativity, that fear energy was seeping in to my life. I'd wake up from the dream and it would feel like they're still there. I could even kind of sense they were at times. So it was this whole thing. I knew I couldn't talk about it with my friends or family at that point, and all I had was my poor wife to fill her ear with all my drama. But anyway, I got sick of it. I said, enough is enough. So I went on, what did I do? What any rational modern person would do. I went on YouTube. typed in, how do you deal with negative entities? I forgot what I typed in actually. And I found this one YouTube video. At that time, there weren't many. Now there's a ton. It was this like young kid, and he was talking about it. And he basically was talking about how he eventually stood up to these negative entities. And I started kind of going in with a new mindset from that point forward, that, you know what, I'm not gonna stand for this. They don't have the right to infiltrate my dream and terrorize me. And by God, I'm pissed off, and I'm going at them. So that's when things began to turn around. And this leads me into the 3 things that you can do right now if you're experiencing this phenomena in your life. The first thing you can do is understand this, that those negative entities, in a sense, are literally just projections of your own fear. And what's happening right now is you're doing a lot of releasing. You're probably going through a spiritual awakening right now, whether you know it or not. In fact, if you are on my channel, I would pretty much guarantee you are, okay? So it's a very positive thing happening with you. Your own fears are purging out in a way they're kind of playing out in your dream state. Nonetheless, the experience of it really is as if we are dealing with these external, independent consciousnesses and entities with ill will and ill intentions towards us, right? So understand this, that they only exist because of your fear. It's not a random thing. And we all have fear. I'm not saying, oh, you're a fearful person. We all are fearful people if we're slightly honest with ourselves. But understand that your fear feeds the monstrous appearance that they take on. Okay? When you know that, next time you fall asleep, understand that you don't have to be afraid. You don't have to respond with fear. You can respond with anger. That's better than fear, honestly, in this situation. Not promoting anger, but you can respond with, like, you know what? Respond with your own true power. Dig deep and find your power. And just that attitude alone will shift the experience dramatically. And again, I know how it is when there's this momentum of this, you're scared to go to sleep. That was the case for me. But after watching this one little YouTube video, again, sharing something similar that I'm telling you right now, the next time I went to sleep, when I woke up, I was in my bedroom at the time, and sure enough, an entity popped into the room and tried to scare me. But at that point, I was like waiting for them. I was on the lookout for them. Like, where are you, you son of a gun, kind of thing. And there they were. And I looked at them with like this ticked off sort of energy. And then what I realized was that I finally saw them for what they were. They're not tough. They're not crazy, powerful demons. What I saw for me at this point, it was like the way I would describe it exactly, and I said it like this at the time when I told people, it was a dumpy, pathetic looking sort of thing that was not at all intimidating, almost sad. Like, wow, this is something that's truly disempowered, not at all tough or scary, and literally has nothing better to do than prey on my fears and unconsciousness and unawareness of the truth of what they really are. So anyway, I perceived them as this sort of like unathletic, gumpy, frumpy looking thing. And what did I do? I chased that thing. I chased it, and it jumped out the window in some very dorky, like clumsy sort of way. And from that moment forward, I realized the truth, which is that they're not scary, they're not powerful, it's only my fears that make them so. So next time you fall asleep, know that you're the powerful one. You're the being of light, and they're feeding on your light only when you respond with fear. But if you can just remember, Vic said to remember your power next time you fall asleep, you will respond differently, and you will see the entire scene transform dramatically. Number 2, learn the lesson. Again, this is not some random thing. Oh, wow, I guess I'm getting picked on by the cosmos or something. It's not like that, man. We create our own reality, even in the dream state, literally, okay? This is happening, it's happening for a reason. There are lessons inherent and very, very powerful, life-changing lessons you're experiencing and learning right now if you choose to respond in that sort of empowered way. Like, you know what? I'm taking responsibility for this. I understand these are my fears playing out, trying to teach me something. Well, what are they trying to teach you? What do you think they're trying to teach you? They're teaching you your power. They're revealing to you your true power. That was the main theme I learned. And when I got to the point where I could literally fall asleep and not even mind, they come in my dreams sometimes here and there. I don't care. I don't respond with fear. I just, oh, okay, you again. And it's so empowering. And that feeling that I can conquer this crazy ass thing that I can't even really talk about with the people, but it's a very real experience to those going through it. The fact that like I can stand up to that and deal with this all on my own. No one comes with me in the dream. It's all on me. And I can handle it, and you can handle it too. And you're gonna take that awareness of your true power into your relationships, into your career, into every moment of your life from this point forward. The last thing you might wanna do a little word to the wise is, in my opinion, what helped me is to tune out of people's fearful interpretations. I'm gonna probably get a whole bunch of slack for this saying, oh no, Vic, they are demons, and you better be wary, you better be on the lookout, watch out for this. I respect as best I can all perspectives, but that's not my perspective. And I found that those fearful sort of takes on this situation kept my fear alive, and it made it very challenging to stand in my own power. Okay, so if this resonates even a little bit, I just invite you to try it. Don't just believe me, try it. Try to stand up to them next time. Try to know your power next time, and try to understand that you're learning something very valuable. And if you go with that mindset, I guarantee you're gonna have a totally different experience. And whether it stops or not, it literally won't matter to you. Now, for me, it did kind of stop. At that time, it was like after that one dream, it basically just stopped happening for a while. Now there's times when I go through these fear purges, like now it's happening to me again. But again, it's not a big deal. It's nothing to be afraid of, literally. And real quick, before I move on to why it's happening to you now, I'm gonna give you one little hack in case what I said doesn't work for you. I don't know why this works, but it does. Wiggle your pinky toe next time you're in that dream state and you wanna wake up. Some people will just sit there in sleep paralysis for freaking hours, a little panicking. And I have sympathy for them, but you can wake yourself up by wiggling your pinky toe. Remember, Victor said to wiggle your pinky toe next time you want to wake up, and you will, guaranteed. So why is this happening to so many people right now? Well, the planet is going through quite an ordeal, quite a transformation. There's a new energy on the planet, and it's causing people just like you to have bona fide spiritual awakenings. And when this starts to happen to you, especially when it's happening like, frequently, it means you're there. You've already experienced a huge shift in consciousness. And what's happening is all the stuff you've been unconsciously harboring inside of you, sort of blinding you from the truth that you are a divine being, and we are living in a divine reality contrary to what the news and your paranoid grandmother says. We are living in a divine reality. And what's happening is you're experiencing the releasing of the fears that are obscuring that clear insight, that clear perception. And on the other side of this fear purge you're going through, there'll be just an enhanced awareness of your connectedness, like a real tangible connectedness to the divine source of that you are. There'll be a much greater clarity that I am a divine being. I do have an influence in my reality. I am an empowered human being, and I can take charge of not only this situation, but my life. And one little interesting side note before I go, sort of a case in point. Once you stand up to them, once you own your power and understand that you control your dream state, you could instantly transfer this sleep paralysis nightmare scenario into a lucid dream. You can literally just, say you wake up, there's an entity on your back. When you have this attitude, you can literally just shake them off, fly up the sky like Spider-Man or Superman, and go wherever the heck you want. What I like to do when I have this lucid dream, I like to fly, and then I like to go to Hawaii. And that's what I do almost every time. I imagine myself flying, so I fly, I go to the beach, it's beautiful, I walk around, I try to stay conscious as long as I can before I wake up. And it's amazing. And so it's like a sleep paralysis night terror is the same thing as a beautiful, wondrous journey through the astral if you have the empowered attitude. Okay, so if you enjoyed this video, my friend, go ahead and subscribe below. I have a lot of other videos about this type of stuff, as well as other spiritual awakening related content. Also, I only upload videos maybe once or twice a week, at least currently at the time of this video. And if you want to stay connected to me and receive messages just like this in your email, you're free to join my Awakening newsletter. It's a free newsletter that I send you channeled messages just like this to your inbox. So with that said, there's a link down below if you want to check that out. Have an amazing day. Best of luck. Remember your power.